There's so much that can be said in this answer here, and then maybe the roof might come down the way that the answers might come across to refute this question here. I'll let Brother Yusuf tackle that, inshallah.
Okay, basically, Islam didn't come from the minds of men. Islam is that which is revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether it's the Quran or the prophetic traditions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his example. So we refer this question, Tawheed Hakeemyah, to what has been revealed by Allah. To facilitate our understanding of Tawheed, the oneness of Allah, the ulama have categorized Tawheed for us. Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah said there's two types of Tawheed. Tawheed of beliefs and the Tawheed of actions. Tawheed al-ilm, Tawheed al-amr, like that. Obviously the Tawheed of belief, we know our beliefs, we should believe in Allah, believe in the messengers, believe in the books. Tawheed of actions, salat, zakat, hajj, and amar bil ma'ruf, nahy al munkar. Some of the ulama, the majority of them, from the tabi'een downwards, have divided Tawheed into three categories. Uluhiyya or ibadah, that only Allah is to be worshipped in all its forms. Rububiyyah or lordship or sovereignty, that Allah has control over all things. And Tawheed in His names and attributes, asma wa sifat, that the names Allah only has those names in their perfection, and Allah's attributes are only for Allah. So we can hear, we can see, but we're not all hearing or all seeing. Only Allah has the emphatic names and attributes. So this are the three categories of Tawheed that the ulamas have agreed upon. In the last century, I believe it was done in the 1950s, one person, can you imagine, in 1400 years and more Islam has been around, not one scholar ever categorized Hakeemiyah as a separate category of Tawheed. And we're talking about Abu Hanifa rahimahullah. We're talking about Imam Shafi'i. We're talking about Imam Ahmad, Imam Malik, Imam Nawawi, Imam al-Bukhari. We're talking about Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. We've had a wealth of scholars. For 1400 years, not one of them ever mentioned Tawheed al-Hakeemiyah. Shirk al-Hakeemiyah, yes, but Tawheed, no. And then, in the last 50 years, somebody now says, there's a new category of Tawheed. Tawheed al-Hakeemiyah. Tawheed al-Hakeemiyah. Only one person has ever mentioned this. Only one person has ever said it. Sayyid Qutb, rahimahullah. Sayyid Qutb. First person to ever mention Tawheed al-Hakeemiyah. Sayyid Qutb also wrote in his books about Wahdat al-Wujud, the unity of Allah with His creation, that Allah is everywhere in His creation. Sayyid Qutb also wrote about Sufi doctrines and other things. May Allah forgive him. What he died upon we don't know. Now why is Tawheed al-Hakeemiyah stressed today by, for instance, Muntada Islami and other Ali Tamimi and others like them? Why do they stress this bid'ah, Tawheed al-Hakeemiyah? Because Sheikh bin Baz, Sheikh Uthaymeen, Sheikh Nasruddin Albani and all the ulama, they've said no scholar ever has mentioned Tawheed al-Hakeemiyah. Now we have to ask ourselves the question, is he more knowledgeable than 1,400 years of ulama? Is he greater in knowledge than every scholar of Islam? Of course not. So why do they stress Tawheed al-Hakeemiyah? Very simple. There are Muslims all over the world, Muslims who are rulers and Muslims who are being ruled, who are not ruling by that which Allah has revealed, the Islamic laws. So how do you get rid of them? If you invent Tawheed al-Hakeemiyah, that someone who doesn't rule by Allah's law is out of Islam, that opens the door to revolution. Abdul Haq, we can get a gun tomorrow, we'll take over half the world. Half the Muslim countries aren't ruling completely by Allah's law. So now, everywhere is Darul Kufr, because they're kafirs. Why? They're not ruling by Allah's law. So we can go and rape their women, kill their children. If there's a nurse in Egypt, she's a nurse in a hospital. If she works for the Egyptian government in the hospital, she's a kafir. What's their delil? Well, Allah says that Pharaoh's workers were kafirs. This is how crazy they are. So this Tawheed al-Hakeemiyah is a big trick. A trick by who? Jamaat al-Takfir. Not Jamaat al-Jihad. Every Muslim here loves jihad. But we're not going to disgrace jihad by associating Jamaat al-Takfir with them. And Takfir is the disease of pronouncing Muslims as non-Muslims. And if any brother wants a cassette on this, or sister, well, sisters can write the address or something, or we can give it to the sisters in the Islamic Society. But the brothers will give you a cassette on this to make it clear for you, because this is a lecture, isn't it? But Tawheed Hakeemyah, no scholar since the time of the Prophet ﷺ until now has mentioned Tawheed Hakeemyah. That is significant and should be clear enough in itself.
Hakeemyah comes under Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. We do not deny Hakeemyah as they try to claim. They say, oh, look at these Salafis or whoever. They say they deny Hakeemyah. No, Hakeemyah comes under Rububiyyah. We believe in Hakeemyah, and some say under the